Thank you for joining me for this preview series for the American Civil War Museum's upcoming symposium, The Soldiers' Civil War. This event will be held in Richmond at our Tredegar site on February 19th and will also be available via live stream. I'm Rob Havers, President and CEO of the American Civil War Museum. Each week leading up to the symposium, I'll be talking with the speakers to get their insights and reflections about their study of the Civil War. This year's outstanding event explores many aspects of what it meant for ordinary men to be thrust into the epicenter of conflict and how they coped at the time and in the war's aftermath. We hope you will join us in person or virtually for Symposium 2022, The Soldiers' Civil War. Until then, I am pleased to bring you this preview. Welcome everyone. My name is Rob Havers, the President and CEO of the American Civil War Museum. I'm delighted today to be joined by Dr. Lorien Foote, the Patricia and Bookman Peters Professor of History at Texas A&M University. Welcome, Dr. Foote. Thank you very much for being part of this preview and taster for our Symposium 2022, The Soldiers' Civil War, which promises to be, I think, a fascinating exposition into this wonderful area of the topic. Your particular talk will be about Union soldiers on the loose in the Confederacy, which is a very exciting topic. Perhaps you can tell us a little bit about what got you interested in this area of research.
I was reading the diary of a captain in the Union Army from Maine for a different research project. And as I read his diary, he was describing battles, and then he was captured, and then he was put in the Confederate prison system. And then the next thing I know, he's describing being moved around the Confederacy and then taken to a camp where all of these Union officers are just turned out into an open field with no walls, no stockade, with just a few guards to guard them. And then he escapes, and he's describing Yankee prisoners on the roads all around him. And then he's having dinner in an enslaved person's cabin and talking about the Emancipation Proclamation while they eat a chicken dinner together. And I'm just thinking, what is this? And I just became so intrigued by that story. And so it led me on an investigation where I eventually discovered that more than 3,000 Union prisoners of war escaped in a 3-month period in Georgia and South Carolina in the winter of 1864-1865.
Was there a particular reason why so many escaped at this time? Is it, as you suggest, the collapse of the Confederacy, amongst other things?
The Confederate prison system is kind of emblematic of all of the difficulties that the Confederacy is having in the last year of the war that's kind of contributing to the collapse of its war effort. There's confused bureaucratic structure, there's poor provisions, the logistics are completely fallen apart, there's no communication, they're facing threats from so many different directions that they can't handle all of the threats. And so, these prisoners are caught up in that experience because, with Grant's offensives in 1864, in so many different parts of the Confederacy, there's more and more prisoners being captured than ever before, and fewer and fewer places that the Confederacy can put them that are safe from the advance of Union armies. So their Confederacy is moving, thousands and thousands of prisoners around, trying to find a place to put them. And this just unleashes bureaucratic and logistical problems that allow all of these prisoners to escape.
Anything that struck you as being particularly interesting and particularly revealing?
Towards the end of these escaped prisoners, after there's just so many floods of them, enslaved people actually begin to organize, moving these prisoners through South Carolina and into Tennessee. So they organize stations, they organize pickets, they arm themselves, but they're handing these Yankees off to white guerrillas and draft dodgers and deserters. And I think the level of cooperation between enslaved people and white resistors to the Confederacy was one of the biggest surprises of my research.
Dr. Foote, this was a brief discussion serving to whet our appetite for your talk at the symposium. in just a few weeks. I think you've done that very successfully. So thank you very much for that. And we look forward to seeing you here in person in Richmond in February for the American Civil War Symposium 2022, The Soldiers' Civil War.